If you own a Toro zero-turn mower, I'm going to show you some service techniques that could save you a lot of money on future repairs. The other day I got a text message from a school teacher that lived up the road from me asking me if I wouldn't take a look at our Toro mower and service the engine, check the things that needed to be checked, and fix anything that needed to be fixed. And I said, sure, I'd do that for you. And while she drove it down here, it was cold, she's all bundled up. It was kind of funny to see her with just her face sticking out like that. But she drove it up here and I thought, well, it's nice and warm, I'm just gonna drain the oil out immediately. You should always have the oil warmed up to drain it out. And on this one, it's real easy. You just turn on that little nut there at the end of that pipe and the oil will start to flow out. It runs down the pan on the frame of the mower, and then it hits a little slot, and then all I did was put a little pan under here to catch the oil. And I still have that opened, and it's been like that for a day or two. Then what I do is I get down there and I turn off the oil filter and I point out the area there where you can see where that comes off. And then with that, all the oil's draining out. And I usually open the fill cap just a little bit so it can suck a little bit of air and get all the oil out of it. And the second thing I've done is I've taken the spark plugs out, and if they were both like this, I probably would have just cleaned them and put them back in, but this one's burnt pretty bad, so I decided to replace them and just guarantee that this summer it'll go real good for. I pulled the air filter off. This cover here was all dirty and it was starting to rip a little bit right there. And when I pulled this off, I could tell that it had some dirt in there, and I just decided for no more than this costs, and as important it is to this engine, I'm getting a new one of those. And one last thing I did, I noticed that the fill filter was really yellowing, telling me that that's been on there for quite a while. So I went ahead and got this in order also, and it should be in with the rest of this stuff sometime today. My plan is to go ahead and put this stuff back on, and I'll show you how I do that. And the oil that I'm going to put in it is just a 1040 blend of Napa oil. It takes 2 quarts and just a little bit more, and I'll show you my technique when I do and put the oil back in, when I do the oil change and when I put the oil back in, so you can see what I do. I'll check the air pressure on each of the tires and make sure that's where it's supposed to be. I'm going to raise the mower, pull the blades off, sharpen and balance the blades, and then put those back on. And if I can find any grease zerks on here, I'll grease them, and I will show you and bring you along with all that. That's the important part anyway. Well, one of the first things you need to do is get the mower up in the air the best you can. You could use a jack and put jack stands in to get something underneath to get the blades off. You could pull the mower deck off, I guess, but I didn't want to do that. I had an engine hoist in here, and that's what I used to raise it. Now I'm going to get underneath this thing and see what I can find. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is see what size socket I need. And I'll do that by looking at these nuts right here. As you can see, it's nut right there. Let's try this one. Nope, too small. Go to the next one. Perfect. And I have an impact wrench. The reason I like using this impact wrench is I don't have to hang on to the blade as hard as I normally would have to otherwise. This underneath looks pretty clean. If it'd be caked up and really dirty, I would want to go at it and clean that out too. Let's see if this comes off. Popped right out of there. Again, we just reach up under here and off it comes. And just leave the wrench and everything lay here until I get these sharpened. In preparation to any blade, it's a good idea to examine them and for straightness and clean all this residue grass the best you can off of it. This is the left blade. I'm going to look at the rest of these. They're all the same, so I know the curvature in them is what they're supposed to do. So I'm going to go over this on my wire wheel and clean these all up, realizing that some of you won't have a wire wheel like I do. And I'll show you how you could clean this. One way is to weten this a little bit, soften it. Most of the stuff on here is just grass residue. But if you got a little scraper like this, and just scrape it, and you can see that that stuff is coming right off. The idea is to get anything off of there that would cause the balance of the blades to be off a little bit when you use your balancer to clean them. And just by scraping them like that, you can see that in comparison to where I used my wheel, not much difference at all. So that's how you can do it at home. Just something to scrape that off. You could even use a butter knife from your kitchen if that's all you have. Just something to get it off. Now the next thing I'm going to do is show you how you at home can sharpen these. Obviously there's a lot of people that sharpen blades, and if you have them cleaned up, it usually costs a little less to get it done. And if that's the way you want to do it, by all means. What I do is I clamp them in a vise. And I went to the local do-it-best store and bought me one of these kits for, it's under $15. Of course, you got to pay tax on it, but it's just a balancer and a sharpener. The balancer looks like this, and I'm going to show you how to use that. And then the sharpener is just something like that. This straight edge right here follows the edge of the flat part of your blade, and all you do is go across it like this. And all I'm doing is taking it down to where I got a nice edge again, and you know that's almost there already. And you do about the same amount of time on each side as to be real close with your balancing. And if you don't wait too long and you don't have to use this a lot on each blade, you can absolutely get, maybe 3 sharpenings, 4 sharpenings, and even more, because this is switchable. Once this side gets wore down, you can switch it over to this side. First thing you need when it comes to balancing your blades is a level surface. And the way I'm getting that is I just laid my level across this desk and leveled it up. That bubble's right there in the center. And this little thing comes in the kit, and I set this on top of my level. And I take the blade and I set it on that, and it's tapered on each end, and then I just slowly make it sit there on its own. And I grab a tape measure and I just measure at each end. And that's just under a 1/2 inch. Or 1.5 inches, I meant to say. That measures as strong. So what that tells me, I need to take more off of this side right here to get this balanced out. So I need to go grind a little bit more off of this to get that evened out. And that's all it is with this inexpensive little balancer in the blades. Now I'm gonna go get this finished up. I'll get those other 2 done and then we will be back at the mower. Well, I have the blades done and you can see that left a real nice edge on both sides and they balanced out really closely. It's not perfect with that, but it's close enough. Now all I need to do is take the other 2 blades in this one and put them back on the mower, and I'm going to do that right now. While you're under the mower, if you see any big clumps of grass that needs to come out, that would be the time to do it. This isn't bad. I wasn't going to do anything, but I noticed on this side right here that we did have some clumps, so I'm just scraping some out. And it's always a good idea to inspect your deck from the underneath side if you can get to it. For cracks or anything that might be started that if you catch early, easy repair. If you don't catch it, maybe it would go just a little bit harder for you later on. I've got one more blade to put on the other side, and we can lower this and start working from the top side. I'm going to get this last blade on and then lower it. And I wanted to say also that I did put a little bit of antifreeze on those nuts or bolts so that the next person takes them off, they come off a little bit easier. That might be me, and I'm always looking for easy. It says that these tires should be at a maximum of 46 psi. This here one's only 10, according to this gauge here, so I'm going to put some air in it. Surprised me that it was that low. But I always check the tires to make sure they got enough air in them when I do something like this. And these smaller tires don't take much to get them up to where they need to be. See, that almost doubled it. PSI rating is always stamped in the tire somewhere, so you should be able to find that without too much trouble. Okay, I'm here ready to put these new parts on in the oil, and I just wanted to show you the difference again on these spark plugs. You can see how burned up this one is and the new one. I'm going to set this, I preset that at 35,000 hundredths or whatever. The old fuel, the new, the old air cleaner, the new air cleaner. And then with these filters, one thing you can tell, like when I took this filter off, it is just really heavy. So that tells me there's stuff in there that shouldn't be. And I'm not sure, but the new filter and what it calls for is a lot smaller than this one. So I went with the new one. Something I always do with filters when I put them on, and I'm assuming others do as well, but I always pre-fill those. Just get them pre-filled and let that soak in a little bit. Then you always take your finger and rub oil on that gasket right there so that when you go to turn that on, it's nice and tight. But there's the parts that I'm using. I've got my oil here. It takes 2 quarts, just a little bit more. So I'm ready to put the stuff back into this mower. When I put the plugs in, I just do it by feel, and you just want to just crush that crush washer on there, and you can feel it when you're putting it on when you get to that point. So that's what I did on the other side. Now I'll put the last plug in. I always turn these in by hand to get them started by hand, because one thing you don't want to do on these aluminum or any head is cross thread something. There she goes. There's snugged up. We'll go at it and put this on. Here we go. All right, there's the bottom of it. Plugs are in. Let's put the air cleaner on next. It's a simple operation. You just fit it in there like that, get it down snug, and put it in place. You have a thumb tightener on the hose, and as simple as that. Now, these should be pre-oiled just a little bit. That's done. Let's put the fuel filter on next. I showed you where that oil drain plug was earlier, and all I'm going to do is make sure it's closed. This filter had already absorbed into everything and it was down, so I put a little bit more in. I'm going to go down here and screw this on. Have the filter on. Now we're going to put oil in it next. Pour it in slow as not to let it overfill out of the spout and make a mess down there. Always pour my oil in like this, then you don't have the bubbles, or the gulping sound. I was taught that little trick years ago. And then when I get to this point, I just turn it over and let it drain out of there. I filled the thing up with oil. I went at it and started it and let it run for a little bit so it can circulate good, and I'll just let it drain down and I'll check it on the dipstick. And the fuel did pull up out of the tank into the new gas filter. So the gas filter's good. The oil should be good, but we're gonna check it here just a little bit. It's a bit cold out there, but I am gonna go test drive it and see how the mower works and all that. So I'm going to open my door, get on it, start it, see if I can figure out how to drive it and get it out of here. The mower works great. With the service I just done on this mower and services like that, this piece of equipment should last a long time. Is it going to last forever? No, nothing does, not even us as people. And I'm reminded this week that just how fragile life can be. I want you to remember that my videos aren't about what I fix or what I don't fix. They're about what lessons we can learn while we're fixing it. It's not about what we fix, it's the journey and the fix itself. If you have any comments that you'd like to share, I'd sure appreciate hearing from you. If you like videos like the ones I've just done and others, please share my channel and subscribe if you think you're going to watch. If you want to watch another video or more videos in this line, grab one of these up here. Can it be fixed? Sure it can. Can you fix it? You're darn right you can fix it. Until the next one.